Okay, so we'll get started on this next session here. This is about the online store itself. Is that better? Okay. Okay, so we'll walk through the online store. So the parts we'll try to cover here is the out of the box starter storefront. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the things that we ship as part of the e-commerce solution is an out-of-the-box storefront that is, and it's storefront with the code that's reusable to make, create a new customized storefront. So we'll go through some parts of that. The entire e-commerce solution is unique in that it's based on search, and we'll see a little bit more about what this means. Most solutions ship with search, but the e-commerce solution we have is based on search. So we'll see that. We'll also go through some of the omni-channel workflows, and we'll see customer management also as part of this in the e-commerce storefront, and see how some of that is done. So let's move on. I want to start this session actually with introducing some of the core concepts of SharePoint 2013, right? And this is what makes our e-commerce solution unique. So we'll spend some time in going through what those concepts are. So as the SharePoint 2013 system is built, it accepts very different content types, right? So it can take authored content. I think there were questions around that. It handles digital assets like images and the like. One realm of the type of category of assets that we provide is called as product catalogs, right? So, and we provide the product catalogs from AX, and it certainly has products and related information in it. You can also have any kind of static content in the whole thing. You can have external content that you look up in a different data network and the like. And then you have navigation, and we looked at about how navigation and how it's stored, and it's separated out of the way the products are stored today in SharePoint itself. So all of this are essentially the other element in the SharePoint system is the search index. The search index is based off of FAST, right? It's a fast search index, and essentially all this various content that you have are crawled and served up as part of are loaded up into the search index. So this is how the SharePoint system works. And so we propagate the data into the product catalog, and you saw some of that data in the SharePoint site. That data is then crawled and loaded up into the search index. So from the search index, we enable all the browse experience and search experience and all of that. So all of that is coming directly from the search index itself. And this sort of enables a number of scenarios like the refinement, changing dynamically as you make selections and the like, very easily possible because of the way this is essentially architected. The next thing is about managed navigation itself. The set of taxonomy of navigation that we create in AX is essentially used to drive the single templated page, right, for each specific category. So one of the things that you can do with this kind of a system is you can have a unique page, you can have a single page template across all categories, and it will become the specific page for a category based on the data that feeds it, right? So when you're in audio, essentially it's just changing a tag, which is the tag for audio, and you're seeing the list of audio related items within that. So a single page template driving multiple pages is possible because of this kind of an architecture. We also, by default, will see in the online store that all the URLs are SEO friendly because of this, right? So the name you have given your category node in the category hierarchy is what becomes the URL, part of the URL itself. So there's controlso.com/cameras, and that happens because you've named the category node a specific name. Let's move on. Okay, So, you're able to do queries based on a specific category, and this essentially provides the set of products that will render as part of this particular page itself, and that it gets populated into the page itself. So that becomes the cameras page because you're filtered by the specific node cameras, but you really have just one category template, which is the main category.aspx, and you're loading it with the set of products that result from filtering it for cameras itself. So that's about managed navigation. The next concept is called as faceted navigation, and faceted navigation talks about the set of refinements. So what you see on the left hand side there is what we're talking about here. So the refiners can now be applied at different levels. So for example, price and brand might be refinements that you apply across all products, across all categories, right? So you can have refinements of that applied across all products defined, certainly, which like the example is price and brand. In addition to that, you can have category specific refinements defined, like the screen size and RAM. So there you're able to vary it per category. So for example, for laptops you have screen size and RAM, and for cameras you might choose to have another set of attributes, and both of these is supported by the faceted navigation scheme. And of course you can have other business factors that are can influence the way you return your search results and how you order them. What we will see is there are some standard attributes that are available as part of SharePoint, like rank, for example. And rank is a computed attribute that they generate based on the way the click through as customers click through various products. So they aggregate this information into a rank feature, and they use many other things, including if the product is new, right? So because a new product, for example, will not have quite the number of clicks of an older product. So all of this is aggregated into a single attribute that you can sort by, called as rank. So that is something provided out of the box in SharePoint, but you can certainly have different ways of ordering your results itself that you can add and editorially control the way the results are rendered in each of these pages. Okay, so the next concept that we talk about is the adaptive experiences. Yeah, so what we can use is the historical click patterns based on what the customers have clicked previously. We can do event processing on that. Search can use that, and we can, when a product ID is viewed, we can come up with a list of recommended products for that particular product ID. So this is also available out of the box by SharePoint itself, as people who saw this also wanted to see this, or who also saw this or also interested in another product. So that web part is very easily creatable. It's available out of the box, in fact, and you can add it as, and we'll see that that's something that we use in our customer favorites content search web parts. So each of these web parts are called as content search web parts in SharePoint, and essentially because they're driven out of search, and it's a query into search that you're making to basically drive this whole concept. So adaptive experiences is another new concept that was introduced in SharePoint 2013 that is compelling from the recommended product scenario. So the next one is about device channels itself, and you will see that we have brought in our mobile online store for the Contoso store, for example, that I will showcase later, is modeled after device channel. So device channel is a standard concept that they have introduced, by which you're able to identify the device for which you're trying to render a specific page to. So depending on the user agent string that particular device sends you, so whether it's a Windows phone or an iPhone, you can render your content differently. While rendering the content differently, you can still use the exact same business logic across both the sites. So you're not trying to manage two different business logic, but you're just trying to manage two different look and feels, and that's completely possible using the device channel framework that is available in SharePoint 2013. The added advantage is that the URL that we use in the mobile online store is identical to the URL that will be used in the desktop engine. So no, people don't have to remember multiple URLs. They go to the same URL. We detect which device you're viewing this particular website from, and based on that, the form factor will get changed for what you're viewing. So essentially, these are the 5 sort of primary concepts that was introduced newly in SharePoint 2013. And we have often got questions on, how different SharePoint 2013 is from SharePoint 2010. And the big emphasis was certainly on these aspects of it. And to be able to support product catalogs as a very standard asset that they can manage on their site. Like I showed you earlier, product catalog is actually, you can have a way to store them, you have a way to index these various attributes and the like. So there was a lot of emphasis on being able to handle external e-commerce sites in SharePoint 2013. Okay, so I guess you can also, this image is showing about how you can show campaign promotion differently per this thing. So with this, let's move on a little bit more into the kind of flows we support in the online store itself out of the box today, right? So the first one is about buy online and ship to destination. So we have the ability to order online and ship to selected destination using a choice of shipping carriers. We saw how we can configure all of this in AX. We will see, I think, tomorrow on how we can add new carrier integrations itself and the CRT customization. But we can certainly, we'll see in the online store today about how this is available to the consumer. They can select a shipping destination and go with it. The next one is we have the scenario of buy online, pick up in store, right? That's one of the compelling cross-channel scenarios that we brought together. You'll see a list of stores show up depending on the zip code that you type in. You're able to select a single store, and based on proximity and based on item availability, both of these are available, and you can pick a certain store for use. The next one is buy online and return in store. We allow this one also, and we allow you take care of the payment interactions that happen with as part of this. We also allow an online order to can accrue loyalty points on the same loyalty card that you use in the brick and mortar. So you can, during checkout, you can specify a specific loyalty card information, and you can check out using that particular order. So let's look at how the online order flows today. These are the various components in play. So the order, once a consumer clicks on a submit order button, it goes through the commerce runtime services, through the order service specifically, and then the specific sales order is created in the cache data store. So it's created in the commerce runtime DB. At this point, we return control back to the consumer and give him a confirmation ID right there. So before we do this, we have already done a bunch of validations. For example, address validation is something that's enabled at this point. Payment authorization is something that's enabled at this point. If you have any constraints in the kind of quantity that has to be ordered, if you have to have one line item at least, all of that, those kind of checks are already done by the time this order is cached in the commerce runtime database, and a confirmation number is returned to the consumer. So after this point, the next step is through the batch synchronization process of commerce data exchange, we transfer all the sales orders from the cache data store in the commerce runtime database into the staging table in AX for retail. And from there, we actually go ahead and create a sales order in AX. So we have the intermediate staging table in AX, and then we have the ability to store the final sales order in AX itself. So if there are any issues with the order, or if any changes need to be made because of an error in creating the sales order, it can be done in the staging table itself. That's editable at that point also. So it's editable both at the staging table and in the sales order after it makes it in. Of course, there are some constraints that you can't edit a sales order after it has been packed and things like that. But beyond that, the rest of the rules apply as it is for other sales orders in AX. For an order enquiry scenario where they would like to view the orders, what we do is we fetch the order both from AX and from the cache data store. So if there are any interim orders that haven't yet made it back into AX, we bring those orders, and we also bring back any orders that are all other orders in AX. One of the benefits of querying AX directly at this point of time, we use the real-time service to query from AX. One of the benefits is that we can view orders across all channels. So you can view all the channels across brick and mortar and online sales channel at this point. So customer management, I believe we touched upon this a little bit yesterday, but just to sort of give a quick summary of it, we allow new customers to register, right? But in addition to that, we have the checkout as guest scenario. So we do support both anonymous customers and we support registered customers. So we support both these scenarios. Customer authentication, we allow forms-based authentication, Windows-based authentication for specifically for people who are managing the site and editing it. And we also we have also enabled Facebook authentication. So this is just as one of the examples as identity providers that you can integrate with, but certainly this can be extended to do other third-party identity providers. That's from the customer authentication aspect. The next thing is we allow basic customer account management. That's certainly extensible, but today what you're able to do is you're able to add an address, for example. You're able to add an email, and you're able to view the order status. So some of these operations can be done from the online store. In addition to that, you can associate a loyalty customer and accrue loyalty points across various schemes. So this is basically the customer account management features that we support in the online store. So with that, we'll move to the demo. Okay, so this is the Contoso online store that we saw earlier. One second. Okay, so this is the Contoso online store we saw earlier. So this is one of the out-of-box storefronts that we are shipping. In the latest VM, you will see that there are two available. There is the Contoso and there is Fabricam, which is an apparel site that we have made available. So this particular site itself here has the basic images that show up. We saw earlier that it has a number of navigation nodes, including audio, cameras, computers, and the like. For this particular storefront, we are showing this at 2 levels, but there's no restriction on the number of levels that you would like to use for this particular storefront. So going down, we have a set of content search web parts that show up. Customer favorites is the web part that we talked about earlier, which is basically based on previously clicked products, right? So we basically used that to surface a set of products that were previously clicked and were most clicked products. So that's based on that, and that's a customer favorite content search web part. There's staff recommendations. So staff recommendation is an attribute that we added in AX. We're able to configure it as a check or not, and so we're able to filter based on whether it's yeah, I think it's doing some delayed click that it's acting to. So hopefully this will still be fast enough for us to view. So let's go back into staff recommendations here, and so this is based on the custom attribute that was defined in AX. Shop by brand. Right, so we are able to filter the products that were, in this particular case, I guess we're showing all the products that were of brand Litware. So you can certainly do that kind of a filter. You can look to extend this also to show the different brand logos, and then once they click on the brand logo, you can expand to show the list of products itself. So that's certainly a possible change, and all of it is fairly easy because of the querying mechanism that SharePoint operates on. Clearance item, again an attribute that was used to control the prices itself. So basically you're able to say whether the specific product is on sale, and you can see that particular web part here. So let's go into cameras here. What you see here is the product gallery view. Let's, if you were to look at the URL here, we see the camera's suffix that shows up at the top for this particular page. The entire set of product lists are showing up here with the title. We have a review rating that we have from that is configured today. We have the price that's also added as part of it. In addition to that, what you see is a set of refinements that show up here on the left hand side. We're seeing brand, color, and price, and all of these apply to all products in all categories. We can go ahead and select a couple of colors here. I'll go ahead and select blue and red and click on apply, and what you will see is what you see is a results list that was listed back based on blue and red products. So what is happening behind the scenes is the color attribute was made as searchable, which is why we are able to filter this way. It was also made as refinable, which is why you're seeing it as a show up here. One other thing you will notice is the set of refinements across brand and price reduce based on the selection that is currently available. All of that happens automatically. Also, what you will see is below you have more refinements showing up, which are specific to cameras. So these are the file image format, interface, and image resolution that are specific to cameras can also be seen in this specific case. Another thing I'll call out here is the display template that each of these refinements are showing up as, right? So you have the standard one single brand that you can select. We have this multi-value select. We have this bar graph here that you can do, and all of this is just a display template. We have chosen to, we are shipping I think 4 or 5 different display templates as part for reuse as part of the out-of-the-box storefront, but certainly you can see and more can be added fairly easily. So yeah, you see that all of this has been reduced based on that. Let's go into computers here for a second and see the varying list of attributes, varying list of refinements for that particular case. So what you see here is we have display resolution, for example. We have processor and memory that are specific to computers show up in this particular case. Let's go ahead and click on one of these computers here, and you see a product detail view here. You're seeing the title, item number, the price. What you see is a list of colors that you can use for this specific computer. You can go ahead and change on one of those, and it changes the color immediately. You see on the left-hand side here any number of images that you can upload per product, right? So this is one of those images that we are hosting in SharePoint, and we are just attributing it in AX. So you are allowed to include any number of images. Another aspect we have done is we have chosen to include a different image per variant, which is why you see that change in image when we choose a different image. One feature that SharePoint has is called image rendition, which lets you upload an image, on a single image in just one size, and then what it can do for you is resize the image based on certain standard specifications that you can give in SharePoint. So for example, in this case, we have the zoomed in image and we have the thumbnail image, but we uploaded just a single image in SharePoint. And then we are just showing here the thumbnail resized image, and we're showing the zoomed in image here. So that's another SharePoint feature that we are using here. Product description, we saw this a little bit earlier, but basically the HTML description that shows up. Specification, again, showing up as a composite attribute, right? And you're able to display it the way you would like to. So we have added standard as one composite attribute, but this can certainly be extended for any other feature that you want to. So with that, let's go back into, actually let me quickly run a search here. Let's do a search on red cameras. And there you go. So you see very quickly you're able to bring back. Again, the color attribute red was defined as searchable, camera was defined as searchable, and you're able to bring back a set of results. What you can do in addition to this is you can editorially control exactly the behavior you want for each of these queries. And I'll try to go through that probably in the next session. The next thing you can do is you can do also something like, of course, HD video, and you will see a number. number of other products show up based on the specific this thing. So let's go back into cameras here. I'm going to go ahead now and select a product, and we'll go ahead and place the product for, let's go ahead and select the blue one here, and we'll go and buy online and do the pick up in store scenario for this particular one. So what you see here is the mini cart, right? And this is again available as a reusable web part that you can use across any other storefront. Let's go ahead and click on checkout. And this is the basic page that prompts you to log in now if you haven't already. So essentially what it's saying is if you're a returning customer, you can go ahead and give your credentials. You can register a new account certainly, or you can check out as guest. I have previously set up an account. I'm just going to go ahead and give that. I'll go ahead and click on sign in there. Okay. So this is the basic page. Like you can see, it has identified me, and it's come in as meera@demo.com. So now it shows maybe the basic page. I can say either I can pick up items in store, or I can ship items to me. So let me go ahead and say I want to pick up items for this particular case. We have stores configured in the Boston area. So I'm going to go ahead and select that I want to pick this up in the Boston area. And this is a Bing map integration that we are showing right here. So what you see is we provided the latitude, longitude of each of these stores. And essentially with Bing map, we are able to see the stores that are closest to this particular city that we have provided. So there's two stores. There's the Cambridge store, and there is the Boston store. And this distance is again computed and returned by the Bing map feature itself. I'm going to go ahead and select on Boston here. I'll click on next step. So just some more information that it's asking me. There is the email address right on top that it filled out. This is like the billing address. So I'm going to go ahead and give those details. Okay, and I didn't store the credit card number, but I'll do after this. Okay, I hope I have 15 ones there. That's the most secure credit card, I guess. Okay, one extra. Okay, so and then I'm going to give a CCID there and expiration month, and we'll make this a 2015. So with that, let's go to the next step. So this is basically the order summary page. Again, this is all of this is available as reusable controls. What we see here is the basic product itself. Of course, we have the ability to add to cart or remove at this point too. So this is a shopping cart services, which is a set of standard, edit cart, add to cart, remove cart, all of those is available. We have the price, we have the ability to update the quantity if necessary, and then we have a line total. So we have the ability to add a coupon code here. Let me go ahead and add a reward card here. So this is 100,000. So I'm going to go ahead and add that reward card for this particular transaction. You also see the credit card's last 4 digits stored here. The shipping method shows up as pick up items in store. What you see is tax apply here. So the tax is based on the customer sales tax group set up for the specific store, right? So that set of taxes will apply. And then we go ahead and we click on submit order. So at this point, like I mentioned, this round trip is only going to the commerce runtime database, right? So it's just up until the commerce runtime database, and then we are returning the control back, and then we generate a confirmation ID. And certainly I think we are using the customer name suffixed and a random when we generate a key based on a 5-digit thing. But this can be changed, and you can use any kind of number sequencing to generate that specific confirmation ID. With that, let's go back into, actually let's go into account history. I don't recollect if I had placed previous orders in this machine because we did switch some machines. Let me see if that shows up. Okay, so what we will do also is we will show the fulfillment aspect in the next session. So in the interest of time, I will not go into that right now, but basically what, I guess it hasn't yet shown up. But what we will go into the next order fulfillment session is we'll bring the order down and we will also see how it's fulfilled both in the store, and I'll do a ship to scenario now that we can see. So the site we are seeing now is the other online store we have, which is Fabricam. So the latest VM that you can download will have both of these, and you should be able to find it in the URL above. I don't know if any of you have access, but I'll also show you because it was slow to load this otherwise, so I preloaded it. But you should be able to go into the publishing portal under Fabricam here. You should be able to go into publishing portal to be able to see this particular store. Let me just try reloading it once. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have. It is taking a while. Let me try. So what you notice is we changed the top Chrome of this particular site, right? We wanted to more showcase the fact that different look and feel is possible, and we'll go into that a little bit more tomorrow, where I'll show you how we dynamically change some of this in the SharePoint Designer itself. But what we did was we changed using a master page feature. We're able to change the basic look and feel of the site using the bar and the like. Let me just reload this. Okay. Okay, so and then we have a navigation hierarchy. Again, this navigation hierarchy is available in the AX, and in fact, we've made it available in the same legal entity just for ease of use, and since it's a demo VM, right, but you could think of this originating from different legal entities too. So each of these is what is called as a different publishing site collection in SharePoint. So, and we have put them in different ports. So this one is 50,002. The earlier one I was accessing was 40,002. But they are independent publishing site collections, so we have chosen to put them in different publishing site collections. Let's go into one of this root categories. What you see here is a category landing page, and what we have done is each of these images, again, we have authored them and from AX, and we have said what is a set of images that we want for per category, and we have also defined the placement of each of these images from AX. So if you go into AX, you will see two columns and which basically handle the set of images in each of associated with each category. And this is the detailed page for a specific product itself. Let's just go into some of the other categories. So we have for menswear, for example, we have another set of images that show up. For women's wear, we have yet another set of images show up. So let me go into one of these categories here. So I'll go into dresses, for example, and you're seeing a similar product list view, experiences, and you see the same. You see another set of definition of refinements on the left-hand side that's possible. One of the things you will notice is we have, in addition, let's go into the product detail page here, and what you see is in addition to color, we have two of the other dimensions also exposed here, right? So we have the size, for example, and then we have style. Style, I guess, didn't have any other value in this particular case, but we have those two other additional dimensions also visible. Let's go ahead and do an add to bag. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click checkout here. And let's go ahead and do register a new account. So I have some minimal things it's asking me for here. So I'll use my fake name here, and let's go on with the other credentials. Go ahead, click on register. Oh, okay, so I guess this was a previously registered user. Okay. Let me need another name. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and register. Okay, so we have the option of, let's go with the ship items to me now, and I'm just going to go ahead and give this name, enter some details here. Okay. So I'll go ahead and click on the calculate shipping methods and charges now, and what you see is a set of shipping options that show up. So these set of shipping options are those that are available to this channel, right, this online store, and available to the specific product itself. So if we were to go ahead and select on one of these, let's go ahead and do standard and click on next step here. I'm going to say this is same as shipping address and give some other more information. Okay, and then give the okay, so what we see is the order total summary page, which is very similar to the previous one we saw. The difference being there's a shipping and handling fee here that's now $10. So the way I configured this particular shipping and handling was I just gave a fixed charge. But we certainly can use some of the other options that we talked about, a percentage pieces, or we could have called out to a shipping provider to actually get the shipping handling charge. So with that, I'll go ahead and submit this order. That's taking a minute there. Okay, and what you have is you have another confirmation ID that shows up. So we will fulfill both these orders later in the next session. I'm just going to show one more thing before we finish here. Let me show quickly the mobile online store. Unfortunately, for various reasons, I'm not able to install the emulator that they have for Windows 8 phone on the VM machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go from here, but what you should imagine this scenario as is that you're having a phone and you're just browsing to this basic URL, right? And then it's rendering the mobile form factor. So I'll go into the mobile site here. And what you see here is a vertical sort of layout that differs for the mobile form factor itself. Let's just reduce the size here so that it looks more like a mobile form factor. Okay. So you see the same exact page that we had earlier in control, so but a little bit more vertical alignment here. So let me go into cameras here, for example, and you see instead of the navigation bar showing up horizontally, what we have is we have the navigation bar showing up vertically here. I'm going to go into digital SLR cameras. You see again the same set of refinements showing up. The refinements are just now vertically aligned, right? And this whole feature was done using the image rendition feature like we talked about, the device channel feature we talked about earlier. We have registered a new device for mobile, and I'll show you that in the tomorrow segment too. So let me go ahead and click on red here, and go ahead and apply, and what you see is, okay, so we saw the red camera that's available here for digital SLR. So, and you can go into the product detail, and you can go ahead and view this in more detail. I'm just going to go ahead and add, and this should do the same Bing map feature, but all are just aligned differently basically. So I can I'll go ahead and enter the same store so we can just see the and what you see is the big map, and below that the same set of stores render. So basically the main work we had to do to bring this up was we had to define a new mobile device channel, and then based on this device channel we had a different master page or a different look and feel, where we had a more vertical alignment versus the horizontal alignment that the desktop essentially provides. And with that we are able to render the same online store for a mobile form factor. So with this, let me go back into my slides. I think I might be... Okay, that was it, I guess, from the thing. Do you have any questions I can answer?
No, that's pretty frequent on the sites, on the e-commerce sites, that you see that if it's on stock or not, the item.
Right. So the item availability information is available as part of our runtime services. We have just chosen not to expose it in the UI. And I hope to show tomorrow how we can add it in the UI, and you can view it. Yeah, so it's just something that we've just not made it available in our UI, but it's completely available if we run the network trace. Even now, you'll be able to see the quantity on each store. So yeah, it's just something that we have not surfaced.
Hi there.
Hi.
What kind of analytics, like user traffic, are people coming on the site and shopping and their navigation behavior, what kind of things we can capture in out-of-the-box functionality?
Right. So SharePoint has, and maybe I can go into that in the next session, they do have the basic, click-through data and all of that available, including including having graphs and analytics that is available in the SharePoint manager itself as button clicks, essentially. So you can easily view all of those that information in the SharePoint side. And what we have, which Jiabin will go through later in today's session, is the retail side of the analytics. And I think what we are seeing is how we can bring the two together in the future. But I think right now we have both these analytics available independently.
SharePoint 2010, it takes the logging from what URL being accessed and who was a user. Do we have any geographical, because it's a public facing site now, so who is accessing in Boston, or how many requests I am getting from California, something like that? Do we have that logging has been enabled, or it's
by default? I do not know the answer to that question actually by default if it is, but let me look up when in the break through the site and see if that location information is available or not.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello again.
Hi.
On the storefront that you presented, there seems to be no visibility about price. Typically, standard price and hour price, or discounts, or promotions. How would you address that?
Yeah, so we do have available, all of those show up. I probably didn't pick a product that had all of those. We allow adjustment price and single quantity discounts to be which will come up in the product detail view right there as a scored off price. We allow that. We also allow all other discounts as applied to the point of sale to be computed at the time of checkout, right? So if there's any other discount that is supported by the point of sale, the exact same ones will be also supported by online store. So both of those scenarios are certainly supported.
Yeah, that was mentioned yesterday. But if they don't show up in the storefront, then
no, they do actually.
You're not pushing the customer to use the
sure, yeah,
typically mix and match or stuff like that.
Yes, Balaji, you had a point?
I just want to point out, just like what Meera said, all the pricing promotion logic will work on the storefront. What you're seeing there is it's an example storefront. So if you were to go and show some of these capabilities from a UI standpoint, you can go do that. What she's currently saying is the sale information is available in product details page, but everything else is computed at the time when you check out.
Right.
So that's why you didn't see it. but the computation is all enabled.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but still, if you're doing promotions like, you know, mix and match or special pricing, it's good that they are pushed to the customer in order to, you know, promote the sales, basically. Yeah.
Push to the customers.
That the customer is aware of the promotion.
I think the idea is what you saw, it was a demo storefront. We chose not to present line-by-line discounts in the UI, but that information is available in the object model that's available for you. If you decide you want to show line by line exactly what discounts have been applied for each of the line items, you can do that. It's just a matter we're not showing it in the UI we just saw. And this is just a demo storefront. It's not something that you take and literally deploy for your customers, right? Presumably you'll have to do some work in addition to that.
Okay.
Rumor has it you can change anything.
Do you have an idea of the type of effort that's needed to extend that? I assume that would be in SharePoint, mostly in the UI?
Yes, it's just the UI rendering. The properties exists in the data model we have. When you get the shopping cart, the order details have those properties per line item. It's a matter of binding.
Let me just quickly switch in.
Yeah, Mira, maybe you can highlight the order details page.
Yeah, let me just find an item where I've defined a discount.
And you'll see that we have another page that's called the order details that shows the more details than that. But it was just a matter of the UI. So all those properties in summary are available to you to bind. If you want to choose to have a text box or a label with the discounts, you can bind those properties.
Okay. I have another question. Are you going to demonstrate that, or?
I'm trying to come to that page. 1 second. Okay. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, go ahead with the question.
You can ask the question.
Please go ahead with the question.
The storefront showed free shipping charge on your first order, and that was not applied for your first order, by the way.
Oh yeah, the first order was a buy online, pick up in store scenario, right? And it showed us 0 shipping because that's how we configured it.
No, the order you just placed has $10 for shipping charge, right?
That was a ship to destination, yes, yeah.
The storefront said free shipping for your first order.
Oh, okay, that was text, I guess. That was.
Yes, but how would you model that in AX? Because I've never seen that work in AX. It's a business rule that should be modeled in AX, right? So that the first order gets
the kind of free
shipping.
shipping option we have in AX, it's a very good point. The kind of free shipping option today that we support is only for order total above certain amount. That's the kind of shipping that we allow today.
Okay, so you're presenting something in the storefront that is not supported in the back office, right?
Yeah. It's
just checking.
To highlight. No, seriously, I think it's a valid point. You just have to realize the reason why we are showing some of these concepts is it can be done from a presentation standpoint in a storefront. So, for example, you might ask the question, if I do a promotion in AX, I don't have anything on the UI to show up, or we are showing something that is not modeled in AX. It's a valid point. The intention of that storefront is to show capabilities end-to-end, number one, and number two is to show how you can customize the storefront to have additional options that you may go customize for your customers. So that was the intent. It's like Nick said, it's a demo storefront. It's not something that we expect you to take it and deploy it right away. Yeah,
and that's the whole point of this, right? We're just trying to showcase what the platform can do more than,
yeah, what it can do or what it could do. Okay. Okay. And another thing is, I think you applied a gift card at some point.
A loyalty card, and Prabhu will show how it shows up, in the next session. Because it
didn't deduct the gift card amount from your credit card amount.
It was a loyalty card that I applied. It was not a gift card. Okay. It was a loyalty card that I applied, yes.
Okay, all right.
Since you brought it up, just to clarify, out of the box, only accrual is supported right now.
Right.
Yeah, you said that, which to me is a problem.
Yes, yes, only loyal,
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. So customer notifications, so emails based on different events in the supply chain, so I've been shipped. do we have a way to tie SharePoint content? So I want to put some recommended buys into that email format or leverage branding from my site.
So in the afternoon session, you're going to hear a little bit more about
Yes.
fulfillment, email notifications in general. And at that time, probably we can discuss about what content can go, what is supported out of the box, versus things that you can go and extend.
Okay. Then maybe another question would be, the orders that are coming from the online store, are those landing on a statement? Are those when they get posted from the staging table to the sales order? Are we organizing those around a statement as well, along with all the payment transactions and things like that?
Yeah. So we'll go. So the afternoon session. So all the orders that you saw Mira do will be used for what happens in AX and the fulfillment in the afternoon session.
Okay, I guess there's one more question.
Sorry.
Okay.
Along the bottom of the website, you're showing a whole lot of information about the company information, store locations, all that sort of stuff. Where's that actually coming from?
Where do the...
Across, there's a big
that's
grey
just
bar.
editorial content, right? I mean, that can be... Today, we don't have a way to associate that to an AX site. This is the company site information, right? The homepage. Yeah, so that was just editorial content that can live completely in SharePoint.
Right.
Yes. That doesn't have to come from AX. Yes.
So on the refiners, I saw some of them, were like multi-select, some of them were single select.
Right.
Is that done on the e-commerce side? Is that tightly coupled, or is that actually pushed from AX?
So that is done, the display aspect today, the way it is done actually on the SharePoint side. Yeah.
So if you add additional refiners, you wouldn't be able to just push out additional refiners without actually making a change on the display side to handle.
Yes, today because since it has a display component to it, we have chosen to keep it separate. I think arguably in the future we can support it in both places. You can select a display template in AX, but I mean that's something that we just tried to rationalize and felt it's better lives today in SharePoint, so which is why we've left that abstraction out there.